well, generally speaking, you're not going to be. And if you are in that situation, it's very easy to code in the script to just add to call this function twice. So rather than having to take in a value or anything like that, we'll just simply make it add or subtract a life. So now that we can add and subtract a life, we need something else that can actually call that and make something happen. And at the moment, we have our player has a health system in the game. So obviously, if we have the health system already in place, we should utilize that to add and remove lives from the player. So we'll open our health manager script up in MonoDevelop over here. So now when it's open, it's going to be very simple. We're just going to create a new object, a new variable, sorry, of a public. No, not even public. We'll make it private. We'll do a private life manager, which is the script we just created, and we'll just call this life system, just for easiness sake. And then we will make it find the life manager object in the scene. So life system is equal to find objects of type life manager. There we go. And basically all we're going to do is, here we have our little function that decides when the player's health is less than 0, it does the whole respawn the player system. But if the player health is less than 0, we also wanted to take a life away. So life system dot take, take life. That's what we called it, wasn't it? Let's just pop back and make sure we have the right one. Yes, take life. So now what that'll do, it'll minus our life from our player. So we'll just save that. And now if we go back into the game, that should, if everything is working okay. We can't convert life manager array. Go back up here. What are we missing here? Oh, we said we found objects. Oh, you have to be very specific sometimes. For example, the problem there was that MonoDevelop wasn't suggesting anything for me to be able to automatically import it. Sometimes when you have to type out the whole object, these errors can come into play. And unfortunately, MonoDevelop isn't very reliable in that way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's completely broken. But we'll play this now, and we'll pop up the 5 lives. Now when we kill the player, there we go, we've dropped back down to 4. And if we kill the player any other way as well, by these guys walking into you, for example, bang, there we go, we're dead. That's perfect. That's just what we wanted. So obviously, we'll just play this again. Now we have our 5 lives or whatever, but all it's doing at the moment is we kill ourselves a few times here, and we get to 0, and if we lose one more life, oh, we've got -1 lives, -2. We're not doing anything with our thing. We need something to happen. Basically what we want to do is create a game over for the game. So what we're going to do, back in our game here, we're going to create a new part of the main HUD here. We're going to go to main HUD, right click on it, and create an empty child, and we'll call this game over screen. And this is something that's going to be taking up the whole screen. So what we want to do is, on our positional thing here, we want to go for this one down here that will stretch anything inside it to the full size of the screen. So we'll click on that there. And now what we're going to do is go to game object, UI, and we're going to add an image here, and we'll drag that into that folder. And for this image, we're just going to make it completely black. So we'll drag that down to the bottom. Move it into the center here. Well, it doesn't matter where it is actually. We'll go switch to the size changing tool, and we'll drag the size out all the way to the big size. And then we're going to add another text object here, and we'll drag that onto game over, and we'll make the text bright white, and we'll make this box just quite big, and we'll make the center of it exactly in the middle, because that's where we want our text to be. And we will align the text into the middle like this. And we'll just make it say game over. And we'll set the size really big. Say we'll go for 48. There we go. So now once this object will be called once the script reaches 0 is the idea we're going for here. So we're going to have that deactivated by default because obviously we don't want that on the screen the whole time. And we'll pop back into our script here, and we're going to need to create an object for that, obviously, or a variable for that. So we'll go public game object game over screen. And now hopefully if everything works that we need, what we'll do is create a little function here. So we have our text being updated on the screen, but if this player gets to 0, then we know we're on our last life. For example, actually we'll talk about this. In some games, when the player gets to 0 lives, that means they're on their last life. But in other games, when the player gets to 0, that means it's game over. So you need to kind of decide yourself which way you will want that to work. So what I'm going to go with here is if you have 0 lives in the corner, that means you have no more extra lives left. So we're going to say if life counter is less than 0, and we'll just make this a loop here. So then if it's less than 0, then our game over screen dot set active true. So what that'll do is it'll go, okay, the game over, the player's lost all his lives, so now we will make it be a game over. And we don't want the player to be able to move actually after this has happened. So what we should do is go public game object player. Actually, this should be a capital G here as well. There we go. Game object player, and we'll make it find the player in the level at the start. So our player is equal to find object of type player. Oh no, actually no, that won't work. We'll have to manually set it, I think. Will we? No, we'll do public player. That's what we need to do. Public player. So then find the player here, and then when the game over screen is set active, what we'll do is player dot game object dot set active false. So then when the game over screen comes on, we won't be able to move the player around behind anymore. We won't be able to see it anyway, but he might be able to move around and walk into the spikes, for example, and then you'll hear the sound of the spikes being played. So, oh no, we've got the type or namespace player company have found. No, actually, we got a player controller. That's what it is. Sorry, not player. So public player controller. Again, this is why we're having an issue at the moment with MonDevelop. It's not pulling up any suggestions for us. We would normally be able to see that immediately, but obviously it's decided not to work. Let's wait for us today. So once it's finished compiling now, if it all goes, yep. So now we've got in our life system, we'll go to our text, and on our script here we've got our game over screen. So we'll drag that in here, and it should automatically find the player for us. So now if we hit play, we'll try getting rid of all our lives again. So we walk into that. So now we have our last life remaining. There we go, game over. That's perfect. That's just exactly what we wanted to happen. So if we pop back into our script here, now we're stuck with a game over screen that nothing's happening. We've nothing else going on. We don't want to just be stuck on the game over screen forever. So what we'll do is, once the player reaches game over, we will load up the main menu of the game so that they have to start everything all over again. You could load them into whatever level you want, but that's just what we'll do here. So we'll go public string main menu. So this will be the string that says the name of the level that we want to load, and we'll have a certain amount of time that it waits between loading. So public float wait after game over, we'll call this. So it'll wait